What's up, guys? Rsmb is back with another tutorial. We're just carrying on where we left off last time. If you've missed the tutorial for syncing, then we did one for impact basic effects, then we did sound effects. Go back and watch those, catch up, and then come back here. For today we're going to be going over color correction, and then we're going to be going the final touches, exporting the video. So let's get started. So we have our basic edit here, which I'll play for you guys. So it looks good. Honestly, with this chill song, you don't really need a CC. The game looks good enough. It's not like the old console clips that used to be really washed out. But let's do it just for fun. So let's find a spot that does not have brightness turned way up. Maybe right here. Make sure it's in full res for this. I'm going to make an adjustment layer and call it CC. Now, I would recommend going and downloading Magic Bullet Looks. These CCs can be good. You can get a lot of presets, packs for it. A lot of tools to make your own, which I'm not going to really show you how to make your own because it's kind of up to your own creativeness. I'll show you what a few of the things do, what I do, and I'll show you some of the looks I have here. So these are the presets that come with it, and I don't actually have any packs from any other editors right now. I have in the past, I've had tons, but I kind of just went and saved my own that I like using, depending what kind of video I'm doing. One thing you'll do with effects is, color corrections is you'll find out that you download like 5 packs and you can go through 50 CC presets and none of them look good on the clip. It really has to do with the game and the color scale in the game and the color scale per map. Sometimes you might find a CC that looks good on 7 clips, but on the 8th clip it looks like junk and you'll have to tweak it. So CCs are not one fits all. But yeah, these are some of the presets. So into the tools, you have haze / flare, which is cool. Kind of get these light streaks. You can change the color on that. This is good for like dubstep-y, kind of cool edits. Some RGB split here. I wouldn't recommend this too much. You have some flares. You put those flares there. You turn on the threshold. Get crazy. Change the colors. Yeah, pretty simple there. Deflare, spot exposure, if you want to just turn a single spot up the exposure on your edit. Sometimes it's good to do this, and you can kind of just always have the sky a little more bright, so it's easier for glows to affect it. Excuse me. Vignette, we all know what that is. That's used a lot. Edge softness, you don't use it too much because, you know, it blurs the kill feed. That's basic, all of that stuff there. Into the subject, you have the color grading. If you guys ever use Lightroom or Photoshop, you'll know all about color grading. Another good ones in here, spot exposure to hair, contrast. Most people know contrast. Pop, it's kind of like a sharpen clarity effect. It can be really good for like hardcore screamo edits, things like that. Your hue, saturation. Right, and then your saturation. You have a lot of the automatic glows here, diffusion. You can edit these. These are all presets, and you can edit them and do what you want with them. Right, so you can change the effects here. Not using too much. I find a lot of times it can make your video look kind of grainy, but they're there. Shutter streak is more of a vertical. And no colors, but I use this a lot too. It goes off of the colors that's in your video. To the 2-strip process, I like that. I actually have a CC with that here, sci-fi blue. You can do a lot with this. Turn out exposure and then exposure compensation, and then on here you can actually change how much, I guess you call it, vibrant it is. And then if you also use this, you can dull it down. Sometimes I pair this with the hue, and I'll change it slightly. Give me like a blue look. Alright. Blue orange. LUT has a lot of presets. This is good. Not that good for Call of Duty clips, I'd say, but for actually film making, and if you don't have any 3D stuff, it's good. Film grain, if you want to add that. Post. Technical net's good to like traps a lot of the glows in the highlights and darkens the shadows. This one's good, I use it a lot. This, you can actually take away colors from the clip. So here I took away oranges, but see the red's still very bright, the yellows are still there. Take away the reds, you take away all the greens, all the blues, the yellows. You can make things kind of interesting. Right? And then you can change how light a color is, which you gotta be careful when doing so, because it usually makes the clips look really funky. But I use that a lot as well. And you have your automatic curves here. That's pretty much how to make a color correction for this one. I don't know, such a chill edit, I don't even know how I'd bother coming into Magic Bolt looks for such a chill song. I may just come in here, go to effects, color corrections, just go to my curves and kind of just adjust my curves slightly. There, I'd probably grab a tint, and I'd probably change this to a change this to kind of like an orange, and just slightly tinted orange. Alright, and then I'd probably go to levels and just slightly kind of wash it out a little bit. Turn that up. So that's what I would do, honestly, for a quick CC. This song kind of gives me like old vibes, so it kind of made it more look like an older film look. Then after that, if you would like to, excuse me, you can add in black bars, wide bars. So I've got a motion tile. This is an easy way to do it. You apply it to a adjustment layer. And you go to output height. 80 is what I usually use for cinematics. It's really wide. I don't really use it for clips because it looks a little too wide. If I want to make something look super cinematic-like, then sure. But I use 90 for clips for a lot of my edits. A lot of times I can cover up a lot of edges that peek out and things like that. So let's play it. Usually use them, but you can also not use them. To you. If you do use these, sometimes you can come into a build up, for example. So find out when it starts building up here. So about here. So go to your black bars, keyframe here to 90, and kind of build up to 80 here. Then a couple frames pass, go back to 90. Open up your keyframes, easy ease. Like I said, everything in the past is pretty much easy eased. And you just kind of do this, and that kind of gives you more of an effect on the build up. So what I usually do, then I usually go to composition, I'll make a new comp, I'll render. Still the same FPS and everything. And then I'll close that. I'll grab my main comp. I'll stick it in there. And I'll add Rsmb. And to be quite honest, I haven't really made a decision on what I like. I kind of just feel it out. you ask me, that's way too much in there, so I'm going to put it down to like a 25 and maybe a 50. So there is still some. I like to go to those spots where I know there's a lot of movement, turn it off and on, see if it changes drastically too much. And I always put it on a comp layer. I've had a lot of render fails putting it on an adjustment layer. That's why I don't do it in the main comp. I do it afterwards here, another composition. And plus RAM previews and just cycling through Rsmb on slows down your After Effects quite a bit. So I suggest doing that as the last step and fine tuning it. After that, you can use the render queue, but I use a media encoder. It's probably the best option you have. You can do a lot more codecs and render settings. So it will render this out in here. Just gotta wait a while. There we go, it pops up. I usually pick where you want to save it. You go into your source here, and it's going to take a while to load as well. So you open up, you can scrub through. I'm not going to because, like I've said 6 times already, it's going to take a while to load. You can go through your settings here and change everything. I will say right now my settings are not the best quality. I'm not super tech savvy on rendering, but I use this preset I found online. It's 1440/20 for FPS. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Render at maximum depth. The bitrate is 60, which is okay. You just hit OK, and you just hit this little green button. It's going to render. But that's everything I have. So I hope you guys enjoyed. The next tutorials will do some motion tracking, other effects. You guys just put in the comments what you want, and I will hopefully be able to do that for you. Thanks for watching. See you guys later.